So I wanted to get back to that 70s psychological horror that I truly loved, and I think this was my chance to really dive into true horror.
Hey man, I'm not gonna hurt you.
What's going on? I feel like we've spoken before, Ruben.
Yes, we have.
We have, right? Yeah. How we been?
Did it for The Purge.
Exactly.
Talking about The Purge, one of the beautiful things about this film is that you play with metaphors. I love how you play with metaphors. In the home, we have another metaphor. And I wonder how important it is for you to create something, because you also co-wrote this story. How important it is for you not just show the genre, but also tell something behind that makes your audience to think.
Oh yeah, I'm happy you brought that up, Ruben. It's one of my favorite things to do as a filmmaker. It actually, I think, feeds my writing. I love horror films. I love sci-fi. I love action, but I like when a story makes someone think. And I think that horror, especially, is a great vessel for smuggling ideas into the movie. I think John Carpenter, great directors like John Carpenter, George Romero did it very well.
The Thing is a masterpiece for me.
What's that?
The Thing is a masterpiece for me.
Oh, a masterpiece. I told you, it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite films of all time. And Scorsese always called it smuggler cinema. It's a way like you entertain and thrill on the top level, and then maybe you sneak some ideas. Maybe certain audience members, get them thinking, get a little debate going. And I think that that fuels my writing in a way that we're working on, hopefully a couple of layers. And here there was a metaphor for climate change that we tried to work inside the movie, and for how the elderly care in America. So I'm happy you brought that up, because that's a very motivating thing for me to work on various levels.
I'm happy that you mentioned Scorsese, because I had the feeling of Shutter Island when I was watching the movie. Yes, and I feel it because the location is a character.
Absolutely.
How important is for you as a creator that the location means something for me, and as an aspect, people that love this kind of movies is the one who's gonna consume the most. And it's super important when you have a location that something's going on, that the location means something and have, I don't know, I don't want to say like a personality, but it means something for the character.
Oh, absolutely, man. And I'll say this, it was so important, and this is the God's honest truth, is we were, I think, location scouting for over 4 months, and we couldn't find anything. And there was a point where Sebastian Lemercier, my producer, and I were actually considering, do we not make the movie if we don't have the right place, if we don't get that right vibe? Because you feel it as soon as you walk up, right? It's like on a location scout, I see it, I could see immediately, no, that's not going to work. And we must have went to 60 different facilities or just old houses and whatever it was. They couldn't find something that was capturing whatever that intangible feeling that I have from the script, and I want the viewer to have that, oh, this place there's something else going on here, right? There's a question mark, there's a mystery just on first blush. Oh, that place is up to something. So it took us a long time. So we actually sadly considered like either moving location, which would have been moving to another city, and there was a great tax benefit that we were trying to get in Jersey. So we were everywhere in Jersey searching. So long story short, I think, I don't want to put it right up there with Pete Davidson and the other and John Glover, but I think the home is another character in the film and equally as important as the actors.
You make This Is the Night, there's a drama, and then you make this movie. Then you jumping between genre. How important is for you? Like it was a challenge for you. Like you miss it. Like I made this drama, but no. I want to go back to what makes me who makes me my name.
Yeah, it is, man. It's so weird. I love every genre of film. I'm inspired by every genre of film. So when I'm doing one, I try to embed myself, like you said, in the drama of This Is the Night. But there is that little part of me that's like, oh, I can't wait to get back to horror. I got to get back to that. That's my wheelhouse, hopefully. And so yeah, and I always felt The Purge wasn't true horror. I always felt The Purge was more action horror, I always felt like The Purge was a punch in the face. It was just this kind of more like the Escape from New York and the films I grew up on. And whereas I always wanted to do something more pure psychological horror, like the movies I grew up on, like Rosemary's Baby and the 10 and stuff like that. Yeah. So I wanted to get back to that 70s psychological horror that I truly loved. And I think this was my chance to really dive into true horror.
But also, I think it's a challenge for you as a director, because when the movie is promoted, we have Pete Davidson. And Pete Davidson is well known mostly for comedy. But he had this movie that I watched like a year ago, Bodies. Yes. When we see him in kind of his comfortable comedy side, but also it's scary.
Yes.
And how was that conversation and your vision? Did you explain it to him that you wanted to create something and putting him on the side of this that we know this Pete Davidson, we're expecting a joke, and he makes some jokes, but
Yeah.
he stay his character, and we get involved and evolve, and we see him how he evolved also as a character.
I know Pete from the neighborhood. We grew up in the same neighborhood in Staten Island, so I've known him since he was pre-celebrity Pete. He was a busboy at a restaurant. I met him, and he came over to me, and he knew about the Purge. He's like, "Oh, I'm a big fan," and we kind of hit it off. He was wanted to be a comedian actor. So I always knew Pete not as the comedian, but as just a soulful young man, a very soulful, thoughtful young man. Had some traumatic experiences in his life, and we started writing together when he was quite young. And we just stayed friends over the years, and always saying, "We got to work together one day." So I knew he had something more because I just knew the non-comedic part of him, and he loved the idea of playing the straight man here. I think a couple of times like you said, there's a couple of jokes, but for the most part, I'd say it's 95% drama, playing the straight man, and he emotes a lot with his eyes. And did I know he had it in him? I knew something. I knew he could do something good. I was actually more impressed, I'd say, on set that he was. We have a great cast of older actors who are all theater actors. I pulled from the great theater actors, Broadway and off Broadway over here, and some of them were even Tony Award-winning actors. Pete fearlessly just worked within that fabric of these theater actors, and I was impressed. I was sitting there at points. His mom was on set, who I know, and I'm like, Mama, how did he? Like, how is he doing this? He's working with these people seamlessly, fearlessly, and he was really impressive. But I think knowing him before, I do wonder if I didn't know Pete before he was a comedian, I'm not sure if I would have cast him. I'm not sure I would have known what he was capable of.
Because for me, comedians, they can go like opposite way. Like we have like they can be so funny, and then they can go the opposite way and be so dramatic. I always think about Monique and how opposite side she can go. You co-wrote this with Adam, and how was that collaborative? Like, what did you create? Did you create the scenes or did you create the environment? And what he added to the story? Like, who started what?
We started it during COVID. His family and my family, because he's my best friend here in Staten Island, and Pete and I know each other from the neighborhood, and we were during COVID. We're both really we're very neurotic people, Adam and I. So we were terrified early COVID, and we were talking about death quite a lot. Not to be morbid, but we both had strange experiences at old age facilities when we were young men, just because there was not a lot of money in either of our families, and they were not high end elderly care facilities, and we saw some very strange things that always stayed with us. But it was the stuff that was happening in New York that he brought up to me. I don't know if you remember, there was a slew of old people dying in old age homes because of what Mario Cuomo did, and it was a very controversial thing at the time. He brought that up to me, like, "Oh, is there a movie in an old age home? Have we truly seen that?" And I remember the only thing I could think of was Cocoon as a little boy, and I'm like, "Oh, there's comedies, but have we seen a true horror film?" So we started thinking about like you said, the environment seemed interesting. And then out of that, I think the climate change, this is a quick thing. I started doing yoga because I'm quite unhealthy. My wife forced me to do yoga during COVID, and I was doing it on YouTube, and my YouTube feed became inundated with longevity videos because I guess they thought because I was doing yoga, I was going to be obsessed with longevity. And the idea is, I think, all coalesced: old age homes, longevity, fountain of youth, people trying to extend their lives, and Adam and I constantly thinking about death during COVID. I think just all came together. And he's in the film, he plays Nurse Les in the film, the big bearded, mean nurse. So having an actor to work with too actually was really helpful in the writing process.
James, thank you so much for your time, man. Congratulations.
Ruben, fantastic. Thank you, man.
Your work. I love the Purges, like all of them. The first one and the second one are like one of my favorites.
Right.
Thank you for creating all that.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you.